I, 27F, refuse to give up my wedding money to help fund my stepbrother's, 26M, cancer treatment. I have a rocky relationship with my dad and his new wife, Karen. My mom died when I was 12 and my dad remarried when I was 14. From the start, Karen makes it clear that her two boys, Hans 29M and John 26M, need to come first, and my dad obliged. When I was 16, I finally move out after a big fight. Karen sold my mom's grand piano, stating we don't use it much. My mom loves music and piano, I love them too. That piano is a way for us to bond when she was still alive. I always play that piano when I miss my mom or when I fought with anyone in that family. It was one of the only mom's possessions that didn't immediately go missing when Karen moved in. My dad was shielding Karen from my anger, and I told him that he was a horrible father. My stepbrothers jumped in, saying that my father is the best dad they could ask for. I told them they were not my father's actual kids and that we are not family. Karen cried when she heard that, and I can see that my dad got hurt by my words. I felt guilty and was about to apologize, but John sucker punched me on my face. I fell on my back and he proceeded to kick my stomach. Hans tried to hold John, but John still get a few good hits. Meanwhile, my dad decided to run after Karen instead. I packed up my things and stayed at my uncle's until I was 20 to move in with my BF at the time. Not once my dad tried to reach out to me. I heard from a cousin that my dad practically disowned me at a family reunion, saying that the boys are the only children he has. I met my current fiancé, 29M, when I was 23 and he proposed recently. We saved up some money for the wedding, but not anything big. However, my uncles from my mother's side chime in and give me money in honor of my mother. I wanted to save it, but they told me to have a grand wedding and be the most important person that day, which mean a lot after years of my wants being ignored. The wedding got upgraded by a lot. I invited my grandparent and some cousins from my dad's side. Suddenly, after more than a decade, Dad contacted me. He didn't ask to be invited or apologize or anything. He just heard I'm doing a big wedding and decided to ask for money. I frankly was disgusted by his audacity and lack of remorse. He asked for $12,000. I told him I'm sorry about John's condition, but I'm not giving him $12,000 and to not contact me again. The next day, Karen blew up my phone, calling me selfish and entitled. My cousin told me that Dad and Karen goes to every single relative's house, including my grandparent, that night, and told them to not come to my wedding or they will cut them off. My cousins didn't care, but my grandparents are stressing out over this. Some relatives think I should downgrade the wedding and give Dad some money so my grandparents can come without worries. Frankly speaking, I don't even have half the money they ask for. Yes, the wedding cost around $16,000, but a lot of that money comes from my uncles given to me for this specific reason, emphasized by them, so I don't think I should use it for something else. What do I do? Should I give them the money my uncle gave me? More context on my relationship with everyone before I move out. Dad, deteriorating as I constantly beg him to take my side. Karen, bad because she would throw away or sell my mom's possession and pictures, trying to erase her existence. Hans, civil, he is one of those people that prefer not getting involved in any problem. He doesn't help me but doesn't fight me either. I guess apathy could also describe him. John, bad because he would pull pranks and sometimes it got physical. He is also the type that would punch a wall when angry, so I stayed away from him most of the time. After I move out, of course, all the relationships worsen. TLDR, my dad disowned me, then hears about my big wedding and asks me for $12,000 to help fund the cancer treatment for the stepbrother who beats me up. Edit, adding info. People are asking if my grandparents know about the assault I endure. The answer is not yet. When I moved out, I run to mom's side of the family because I know for sure that they will take my side, no buts, or saying he is your dad BS. My dad and Karen told everyone he disowned me because I lashed out at Karen with no reason, verbally abuse my dad when he tries to de-escalate the situation, and then run away. My dad's family is very hush-hush about family matters and would talk behind the person and not to the person. Horrible, I know, but human. Except for my cousin, the same one from the story, let's call her Jane so I don't have to refer to her as only my cousin again, and her family, dad, mom, little brother. They are curious and not afraid to ask, so they asked me to explain my side the second my dad disowned me. Jane and her family might have told others, but honestly, I don't know and don't care if they know back then. As far as why I don't talk about it? Well, first, the extended relatives, including my grandparents, never ask, so it feels weird if I just talk about it. Second, when I just move out and everything, pain, exhaustion, sadness, felt fresh, I just wanted to escape and don't want to deal with dad and step family. So I felt like if I defend myself and tell my story, I am just inviting them to argue with me, and I do not want that, so I stay silent and let people believe what they want. If they want my side, then I'll tell them, if not, then let it be. Third, I do not know how they will accept that story. Will they believe me? Will they tell me that I overreacted? They would never tell me that to add, it's just in my head. So as a teenager with low self-esteem, I decided not to speak. If you all ask why don't you talk as an adult then? Simple, because I forgot about it. It's been more than a decade and I tried to heal from that. I don't tell myself every day about the bad things that happened to me. I simply move on and live my life. The only reason this become relevant is because I want to provide context on why I despise John and what causes my family to drift apart. I would give my dad's family a bit of credit actually in terms of this. Even though dad and step family paint me as the one in the wrong, they still reach out to me and support me here and there. They should have asked my side, but hey, my family works like that and there's nothing I can do about it. Move on to the comment. You block them, tell everyone else why dad and Karen aren't invited and won't get a penny, and hire security for the big day. I think I did not expresses it well enough in the post, but dad, Karen, Hans, and John are not invited, never been invited in the first place. I only invited a handful amount of people that stay in contact with me, mostly cousins, and my grandparents, because they did nothing wrong, even support me here and there. The cousin that told me all of this is going to be my bridesmaid. The problem is dad and Karen threaten to cut people off and my grandparents is put in a hard place having to choose me or my dad, which is their only son. If your grandparents have money, property, or any other assets, then I can guarantee you that your father will not cut them off for fear of being cut out of the will. This up. If your dad or step which get even a whiff of grandparents leaving them something, they will not cut them off. Have your beautiful wedding. Marry the love of your life and enjoy yourself. Hire security for the wedding. Make sure they know that your dad, stepwitch, and stepbrothers are to be thrown out if they show. Here's to a wedding with more security guards than step relatives. Cheers to love and peace. You can even mention your grandparents in your vows, something I appreciate you doing for those of you who are no longer with us. I agree, this is the time to tell your grandparents the truth. They have manipulated your family for years and now it's time to put a stop to it. Let your aunt and uncle back you up, by saying that it is what you told them when it happened. They are trying to ruin your special day. Don't let them do it. They can find other means to help John, without trying to bully someone they mistreated and disowned years ago. He disowned you. Never once did he apologize and only contacts you for money for the stepson who beat you. For money for the stepson who beat you.